Welcome back. You're listening to At Your Service here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. Well, coming up right now is Ask the Consul. And of course, this morning we have Catherine Farrell, Deputy Consul General. Right? Am I correct with that?
That's
Catherine,
right.
is good to have you.
Great to
and
be here.
we also have Pauline Kastner, American Citizen Services Chief. Good to have both of you. And I know you're veterans in this business now, broadcasting. Am I right?
Second time. Great to be back, though.
Yes,
Thank you.
good to have you. And I hope you're not about to leave here soon.
Oh, no. I personally have 2 more years to go.
2 more years. That's good,
Yeah.
Catherine. And Pauline?
I am unfortunately winding down my wonderful stay in Jamaica.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, just a couple more weeks to go, unfortunately, but I'm so happy to be here.
Couple as in 2?
I'm leaving at the end of July.
Wow.
Yeah, it's coming up fast.
So the next time we see you, you'll probably just visiting Jamaica.
I definitely will be back to Jamaica to visit.
Well, I'm going to be taking calls later on in the program. It's Ask the Consul, and listeners, they're here to answer your questions about visa and immigration matters. Now, ladies, I saw on your website yesterday that they were having some system problems, I think, with your the system that deals with visa applications. Am I right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that is true. It is not specific just to the embassy here in Jamaica. Unfortunately, this is affecting all of our embassies and consulates around the world. And it is unfortunately affecting our applicants here. It's a worldwide systems issue. Anyone who has submitted their online application on or after June 9th, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to access that in the system yet. So we are asking those people to reschedule their interviews. Unfortunately, we're also not right now able to actually print out the visa foils for applicants whose cases we've approved. And as you mentioned, our website, we are keeping information as we get it updated on our embassy website and on the Facebook. And on that same website where people can go schedule their appointment and submit their application and then track their passport after their interview, we're also updating everything there as we get information and updates. So we're very sorry this is going on. We know that this is very frustrating. It's an inconvenience to people. We're very sorry that we're not able to meet what we hope are our usual high customer service standards.
Yes.
But we just ask for people's patience with this. It is worldwide. It's not just here. And the fix has to come from Washington. It's part of the central system.
Just remind all of us now, what is it that persons can do and also cannot do at this time?
Right now, the best thing people can do to keep informed is to use that same website where they submit their application and schedule their interview, usvisa-info.com. Right there on the first page when you go on, we're keeping any service interruption notices posted right there. If you had your appointment already scheduled and you submitted your online application before June 9th, we'll still be able to do your interview. We just won't be able to print out your visa foil, put it in your passport, and get it back to you until this is all over. And as soon as we know that we can do that, we'll be posting information there.
And so it means, therefore, they will have to now probably come back to the U.S. Embassy at a later date to get that foil placed in the passport.
Currently, what we're doing right now, if people don't need their passport for travel to anywhere else, we are holding them, and as soon as we're able to produce the visas, we'll be putting them in the passports and returning them back through the courier. If somebody needs their passport for travel to somewhere else, they should let the officer know that at the interview, and we'll make a different arrangement for that.
I guess probably you can speak to this issue, but in terms of what is causing this challenge, I'm sure many of my listeners would want to know what is creating this challenge, because if it's affecting the whole world, it seems to be something very, very major.
Well, I'm not a very technologically oriented person, so I wouldn't try to explain any of that, but what I can say is it's a very, as you can imagine, it's a worldwide system. So it's very complicated. It draws on a lot of databases. The information has to go from the embassies and consulates back to the central system and then back out again. Something somewhere along the line has broken. And lots of people are working on fixing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess it must be very difficult to give a timeline as to whether it will take probably a week, 2 weeks?
It is, and I wish I had a crystal ball, and I wish I knew exactly when this would be over, because it's stressful for us to not know from day to day either. And it's not nice to be in the position of having to tell people, I'm sorry, I don't have a definite answer. So we appreciate everybody's patience and understanding, and as soon as things are fixed, we'll be working overtime to get caught up.
Right, and we'd love to get it first on this program so that we can tell our listeners. All right, we have a caller. Let's go to this caller. And Tamar, good morning. How are you doing? Sorry to keep you holding, Tamar.
Good morning. I am fine, thanks.
Good to have you. You go right ahead.
I just want to find out something. My nephew has received a letter from the National Visa Center say that his father had filed for him and he should go online to fill out the DS-261 form. Where do you get that form?
Okay.
Can you tell me the website I need to go and get it?
Hi, Tamar. This would be an immigrant visa case. Unfortunately, the immigrant visa applications are also being affected by this right now. That letter from the National Visa Center would have included, I think, an email address for the National Visa Center on how to go about getting to that form. I think probably right now he's also going to run into trouble trying to submit the DS-260. So again, this is probably one where it might be better just to wait until this situation's over with to start that part of the process. I'm sorry I don't have that NVC address in front of me right at the moment, but if you go to travel.state.gov, you can find the information on there under immigrant visas.
All right.
Then.
Thank you very much for calling, and you have a wonderful day. Catherine, you're going to say something, right?
Oh, right. I wanted to follow up. You asked a minute ago, what could people do and what can't they do? One thing applicants can do that will help us help you. When you go on to that usvisa-info.com website, schedule your appointment.
That is US
Visa-info.com.
So it's usvisa-info.com.
Right. When you register on that website, it asks you for a contact email. It's really important that you use an email address that you check. Or if you're using somebody else's email, make sure it's someone that will get in touch with you. Because, for instance, we have been reaching out to people whose appointments we've had to reschedule. We think not everybody gets their message. So make sure, if it's not your own personal email, if it's your travel agents or someone, that it's someone who you can trust to get you a message. Because we are sending out reschedule notices or things like that to applicants too.
And because you probably have not been, you'll not normally be getting emails from that address.
Right.
Probably that email will end up in your junk, among your junk emails.
Check your spam folder.
Check your spam folder.
Right.
All right. I think we have Earl on the line. Good morning, Earl. How are you? Where are you calling from, my brother?
Good morning. Well, I live in Pembroke.
Good to have you, my brother.
Yes, sir. But my wife, she gets, her sister files her, and it comes through, and they call her, but she was feeling sick with this arthritis. We're getting treatment from a specialist now.
Okay.
But before she gets this permanent come through, they take back her visa. Because that must because of the permanent that was coming through. That was a couple months before. So what we like now, since the time is up, since she get the call and she never take it up for the American citizenship. I want to know if she comes to get a visitor's visa now, if she will have any problem with that.
Hi, Earl. So let me make sure I understand. You're calling about your wife, and her sister had filed for her for an immigrant visa. Is that right?
Yes.
But she didn't pursue that.
No, she didn't pursue that.
Okay, and now she wants to know if she could apply for a non-immigrant visa, right?
Yes.
Right. At the time when she has her interview, she can just explain why she did not pursue the immigrant visa. I mean, we know that many people, their family members file for them so that they'll have that option for the immigrant visa if they want it in the future. Not everybody decides to immigrate, and so that is just something to explain at the non-immigrant
Yes, because she's been traveling for a year a lot on her visit, and the cold affect her she have a arthritis problem.
Right,
yes.
Right. I can understand that. I personally enjoy not being in the cold weather myself.
Yes, only thing I never understand, because the sister filed for she and family, and then because of she never take it up, I couldn't get it either.
Right, that's right. So, no, having an immigrant case on file does not prohibit somebody from applying for a non-immigrant visa. They just need to explain their situation.
Let's explain.
Right.
Okay, I thank you for that.
Okay, sure.
But I know I was wondering still how when although they sent me papers so. But because she was ahead, I couldn't get it either.
Right, that's right. Some immigrant visa categories, the principal applicant, like the sister or the brother, has to get the visa first before their family members can.
Before the family member. And if they don't get it, then you cannot get it.
Right.
I have a visiting still, and I appreciate and glad for that still.
All right.
I love she to get back her visiting because I never know them graduation, and she would like to go to graduation and all that. Yes,
right. And graduations are usually in warm weather, so she can still avoid the cold. Good.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And you have a blessed day, and I'm glad to know that you enjoy in Jamaica too.
You too. Okay.
Thank you very much, my brother.
I listened to this program and a lot of the program before and now, so I appreciate and glad for it.
And tell wife we just continue to be strong, because I know that little challenge here can be quite debilitating.
I'm here beside her, man. I'm here beside her. That's divorcing. Just loving her every day.
You make her come look for you and say, if I'm not take her away, but you're not divorcing. You stay there. I love it. I love wife. Have a wonderful day.
Yes.
All the best. Marcia, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, fine, thank you, and you?
Hello, Marcia.
Good morning, Marcia.
Hello, good morning. I have a question that I want to ask. If someone is being filed for by her mother, and the mother passed on, and she gets her date to do an interview, will the death of her mother affect the filing? Her son is the affidavit of support.
Right. Well, hello,
I think
Marcia.
we lost that caller. Marcia, if you're listening, try calling us back. I think that line dropped. So we hope that you can call back. Marcia is back?
Yes.
Okay. Generally, when the petitioner dies, that often is the end of the case.
Filing process.
But it's always worth following up on that information. If the case is still at the National Visa Center in the U.S., the family can send that information there. If the case is already here at Kingston, you can get in touch with the Immigrant Visa Unit and ask, and they can check. It would depend on the category, the relationship, what type of petition it is. So I would definitely check it out first before you rule anything out, but also be prepared that it could be a category where the case is finished. There might be another family member, though, that could
even if their son is the affidavit of support.
That's why I think it would be, for something that specific, I think it would be good to go ahead and check with the Immigrant Visa Unit here and ask.
Okay, then.
Yeah,
okay,
I wouldn't want to try to guess it without knowing all the details.
All right, then. Thanks much.
Okay, sure.
Thank you very much for calling, and you have a wonderful day. Let's now go to Kerry. Kerry, how are you doing? Thanks for calling.
Hi, morning.
Good morning, Carrie.
Morning, Carrie.
My visa expires in October of this year. What's the latest I can travel on it, or when do I need to apply before? I'm not sure if it's after it expires, or can I renew it before it expires? I'm not so clear.
Yeah, you don't need to wait until it's expired. You can go ahead and apply now, although I would suggest maybe waiting until this current situation's over so you don't get caught in this.
Maybe even waiting until the end of summer. There's just so many people who want to travel during the summer that the wait times can be really long. You might want to wait until maybe September.
Yeah. But it is true, the visa, that date, that expiration date on your visa, you can actually travel on that up until that day. Because the visa,
it could be a short trip.
Right. The visa doesn't say how long you can stay. It says how long you can use it to appear at the port of entry and ask to be admitted. So you could show up on the day it expires and still be admitted. Okay?
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thanks a million. Have a good one.
Sure.
Bye, Carrie.
Thanks.
All right. I think we have lines are not free. I can't believe it. Well, now just let us remind our listeners about that challenge and what they can do and cannot do. Again, in terms of the visa applications.
If you have an interview scheduled with us in the next week or two, and you submitted your application form online before June 9th, you can go ahead and keep your interview date. We just won't be able to actually print out your visa until this system issue is over. If you just submitted your application form on June 9th or after, you should reschedule your appointment now. Save yourself the trip and the frustration, and just go back to the website, use either the website or the call center, and just reschedule it right there and get a date for hopefully after this is all over.
If I may add,
yes, go ahead, Pauline.
American Citizen Services, we also experience a slowdown in the printing of passports.
It affects them too.
It does. It was a worldwide problem as well. It appears that we're starting to get some progress made, but I want to remind all of your listeners out there, particularly listeners who have children who might be American citizens, that the summer is coming up. They really need to renew those passports before the children go back to the United States for school if they're coming down for summer vacation, or before they travel for their summer vacation up to the United States. So make sure to take the time to go look at those passports, see when they expire, and feel free to make an appointment, come back in to the embassy, and we'll renew that passport for you. It appears that we can probably issue a new passport in just a couple of weeks. So it's not as fast as usual. Usually it's 7 to 10 days, but right now we're able to get passports back in about 2 weeks. So I want to remind people to make sure to look at those passports.
That is very important, because you don't want to be traveling and next, your passport expires within the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. As a matter of fact, I'm almost sure the airlines have a policy of not accepting you if your passport expires, within a certain time. Catherine, you want to comment on that?
Many countries do require that you have 6 months validity on your passport.
6 months, right.
You do. But not everywhere, but depending on where you're traveling, they might. And in terms of passport expiration dates, I can say as a mother, if you have more than one child to keep track of, check everybody's passports. Because I've been in that situation myself where, like, the youngest child's passport was issued at a different time than the others, and whoops, had a different expiration date. There's a lot to keep track of. It's worth checking those well before you're going to be putting anybody on the plane.
Well, you won't be able to put them on the plane.
Well, that's why you want to check that as far in advance as you can.
Yes. Yeah. We have a caller now on the line. Who do we have on line now? Ricardo. How are you doing, Ricardo?
Good morning, Vernon.
Good to have you, my brother.
And good morning to the counselors.
Good morning, Ricardo.
Hi, Ricardo.
Yes, I'm calling. I had an appointment for the 19th.
Okay.
And I got someone called me and told me that they were changing up the date.
Yes.
But when I found out, I got an appointment for Monday, and I didn't get an email. So how do I go about that?
Okay, so you had an appointment for the 19th, And
Right,
it was changed. Was it changed to Monday past? You mean?
Right.
Oh, and you didn't get the notice in time to come on Monday? Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. That email that you got probably either has a reply.
I will have a minute remaining.
Okay. Call back to the number that you were called from, or go back to that website where you scheduled your appointment. Call the call center, and they'll help you set another date soon. All right? We'll get you in. Go back through that appointment scheduling service, and we'll get you back in. We know that some people had trouble with Monday. Okay? Yeah.
All right.
Okay?
All right. You have a wonderful day, and thanks for calling. All right. Pauline, you had indicated to me that you want to mention something, right?
I did. Thank you, Vernon. I just wanted to remind everybody, all of your listeners, that hurricane season has begun, and this is a good time to think about this.
Reminding us, yes.
Yeah, Tropical Storm Bill just hit Texas and Louisiana and flooded the area. So it's a good time for us to think about making sure that we have enough supplies, water, batteries, food, that your papers, your important documents are kept in a safe place that'll remain dry. Just something to think about as we head into the hurricane season. It's not expected to be a difficult year this year, but still something to remember, as well as making sure to keep all those travel documents still valid. So just wanted to remind your listeners of that.
Oh yes, that's important. I remember when Gilbert was coming. Good thing I took my passport and everything and put it into a plastic bag and tight up, tight, because roof lifted and water was all over the place. But guess what? Those passports are those important documents.
Exactly.
And you don't want to have to go back and get new birth certificates, marriage certificates.
That can be time consuming. But let me ask you, what about, how do you deal with those Americans? So, for example, if they are here, there's a challenge, and they probably need to get out. How do you deal with that if there are no flights leaving Jamaica?
Well, Jamaica is actually really good at dealing with hurricanes. I was here for Hurricane Sandy a couple of years back, and I was so impressed with how well the country handled that. So there actually are quite a number of flights that leave the island before the hurricane comes. So people always do have the option to leave. But I do want to encourage people to enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. They can find that by going to step.state.gov. That's STEP, which stands for Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, .state.gov. And that is the system that we use to communicate with American citizens. And you don't have to be an American citizen to enroll in that program. If you want to just find out what we're telling American citizens when there's a crisis, you can enroll in that as well. It just takes a couple of minutes, and you'll get our emails that'll tell you what's happening. So we advise American citizens usually to lay low during a smaller hurricane and to evacuate if it's going to be a really big one. And
for those, you might have children who are here, so adults who they're staying with have a responsibility to make note of that STEP, STEP. .state.gov. So
that's right. Thank you, Vernon.
It's very important for them to do that. But we're hoping that we'll not have any.
Fingers crossed.
Right.
But, I think the more you prepare, the less likely that something bad will happen. So I figure it's a good time to take a couple minutes to prepare and be ready, and then just hope that the best occurs and the worst doesn't.
But just in case there's a hurricane and there are challenges, I'm sure the U.S. Embassy would love to know who are here, those Americans who are here. How do you deal with that? Because you might have to do something for them. They are U.S. citizens. How do you...
Well, that's why it's so important for American citizens to enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, because that's really the only way that we know that Americans are here. Otherwise, we just don't know unless they come to us and ask for assistance. So it's a really good time before the hurricane season really gets under full swing to take the time to enroll in that program and let us know that they're here.
So the way to do it then, if you're in Jamaica, would you enroll in that program only because it's the hurricane season, or do you enroll because you're traveling? And what do you do if you're traveling to another country? Do you have to go to that site to say that you're in this country, Pauline?
That's an excellent question. Actually, what you do is you create an account, and anytime you travel anywhere, you just have to add that country.
Right.
So if I was going to go on vacation to Panama, I would just go back on, log in, and say I'm going to Panama from July 4th to July 15th. And then if anything happens in that country during that time, I would get those notices. So it's a good way to just brush up on what's happening in that country and to find out if there's anything wrong and to get the notices if anything does happen and to let the embassy know that you're there.
And I think it would be good to give an address, because you need to find persons. So if you don't give an address, you just say you're going to Jamaica, and we don't know where, you don't know where in Jamaica, then that would pose a challenge.
That would definitely pose a challenge, yes. Finding a needle in a haystack.
No, I understand. Yes, Catherine.
I would just remind too, if you are traveling, it's always good to let someone at home know where you will be and when, because if there is a crisis or an emergency, family members get concerned. They contact us. They might have forgotten where you're staying or whatever. And when people are stressed, sometimes they forget details. It's always a good idea to send them an email or write down. Make sure mom knows where you are, and that helps everybody.
I noticed you said mom. You did not say dad.
Well,
I have a thing about that.
Mom and dad. Okay.
I'm feeling better.
Okay. Sorry.
Mom and dad. But it's very good, because when you send an email, at least they have something documented. Because you just call somebody and tell them that I'll be at this place, and I can't remember exactly where you're going.
Right.
So I think it's very important.
Right.
Now, I know in the past you have had some challenges with persons who, well, not you, they would probably have the challenge of going to the embassy too early. Are you still having that challenge? You get an appointment for 12 o'clock, and we turn up at 9 o'clock or earlier. But let me tell you what, Mark is on the line. Let's go to Mark first, then we come back to that. Mark, how are you doing? Good morning. Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning. My name is Mark. I'm actually calling from Portmore.
Good to have you.
Yeah, I have a quick question that I need to get sorted out.
Sure.
The thing is that I have a situation where I need a particular amendment made to my visa.
Okay.
Right? To my American visa. Now, I already had my appointment a couple months ago. It was in February. But when I went there, it was denied. Well, I guess it was denied because I was missing a letter that I needed from the American Coast Guard. So I'm actually waiting to get that letter back.
Okay.
So my question is now, once I get that letter, which is the only requirement that I need now to move forward with the process, do I need to set another appointment date, or can I just mail in the documents?
Okay, Mark, it would depend. At the time you were in for your interview, you would have been given a letter from the consular officer.
Right.
It would have either said that your application was denied, or the letter would have said that your application was pending receipt of more information.
Right. I got that piece of documentation, but they didn't actually take it, and I didn't realize until after I left. They didn't actually tell me if I should come back for another interview or just mail everything forward.
Okay.
That's the issue.
Again, through that appointment scheduling website, the US Visa-info.com address, there's information there on submitting documents back to us through the courier. So check those instructions. You can send it back in that way through the courier, and that would avoid you needing to come back in person.
Okay, then.
Okay?
All right. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Okay, you too.
All right.
Thank you. All the best, sir. Now, back to that same challenge where persons know they get an appointment for, say, 12 o'clock, and they probably turn up at the embassy probably at 2 o'clock in the morning. No, I'm sure it's not that
well, not that early. No, I'm glad you mentioned that. I think the word has gotten out quite a bit, and I do think that people are realizing that they can keep to their scheduled appointment time, and that it works just fine if they do. And I don't know, for every morning that we're open, but I would say on the most part, it seems like people are coming at their appointment times, and that it's flowing quite smoothly out on the street and coming through the gate and waiting for their appointment time. So we appreciate people cooperating with that because it makes a better experience for everybody. Everybody's time is valuable, and there's no point wasting your time waiting if you know that you can get in at your scheduled time. So we appreciate everybody cooperating with that.
I think people were just a bit anxious, but
Understood.
now they understand that appointment system works.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
I used to wonder myself, Kathy, when you see a whole long line of persons all day, you say, why do we have that, in the sun? And they say, boy, these persons at the U.S. Embassy, they are cruel and wicked. Why are the persons waiting so long? But now we understand, no, it's nothing like that.
Right.
You get an appointment time.
Right.
If it's 9 o'clock, I say, come at what? Probably 10 minutes to 9?
I would say if you were there 10, 15 minutes before, because remember that appointment time is the time that we have scheduled for you to come in. It's not the time we expect you to be at the window in front of an officer.
Okay.
So I think that's where anxieties come into. People see it's a 9 o'clock appointment. They think that means they have to be inside and checked in by 9 o'clock. So maybe they should come in at 8, which means they should come at 7. So let's leave home at 6. It all snowballs. So just remember that appointment time is the time we'll be letting you through the gate, and it all works out from there.
I think I understand why this happens too. Persons know that you have a system there.
Right.
You don't joke when it comes to certain things. When I say don't joke, I mean that you have a order as how things are done. And I think persons are just trying to make sure that they toe the line and do what is required, because they have relatives in the States. They really want to go and look for them.
Exactly.
And they don't want to do something which jeopardize the possibility of them getting a visa. So they say, you know what, I'm going to come on time. So not only come on time, but way ahead of time, but there's no need to.
There's no need, and we know, like I said, people are busy, your time is important, and the sun is hot. So we don't want anybody...
Very hot at this time. I tell you what, we have Cheyenne on the line. We're going to take Cheyenne before we go for the break. Cheyenne, good morning.
Hi, Cheyenne.
Good morning, good morning.
My brother, how are you doing? That's a rare name, Cheyenne.
Cheyenne Atkinson, yeah.
How you spell that?
It's Cheyenne, S-H-I-O-N.
Oh, Cheyenne.
Okay.
Cheyenne.
Oh, Cheyenne.
Got it. Okay.
Good to have you. Go ahead.
I'm calling from the state. I was just
You calling from the States?
Yeah.
Where in the States?
Delaware.
Good to have you.
Okay.
Yeah. I just a question now. When you become a citizen in the state, do you automatically do you have the choice of being a dual citizenship?
That's a great Yeah, that's a great question.
Pauline, you want to take that one?
I definitely want to take that one. Sharon, I assume that your other citizenship would be Jamaican, is that right?
I'm a citizen in the United States. Yeah, I was Jamaican because I became an American citizen.
Right, so you're now a dual citizen. Our only requirement is that you use the U.S. passport to leave and enter the United States. But you can enter you can enter Jamaica on your Jamaican passport and enter the United States on your American passport.
Oh, so if I'm going to Jamaica, I can come to Jamaica on my Jamaican passport?
Right, but you have to leave the United States on your American. So just make sure that you carry both, because otherwise you won't be able to come back to the United States.
Oh, okay. So I have the same rights in Jamaica as I have here when you become a dual citizenship?
Right, so the United States doesn't make you lose your dual citizenship. So from Jamaica's perspective, you're a Jamaican citizen. From the United States perspective, you're an American citizen. So you have the rights in the United States same as any other American citizen, and you would have the same in Jamaica.
Yeah. With just one quick question: if he comes to Jamaica, using his Jamaican passport to enter the country, I know that he can stay there as long as he wants to.
Right.
But if there's a challenge here and he needs to get back out, will the U.S. still accept responsibility for taking him out of the country, the fact that he came into the country using a Jamaican passport?
Yeah, the United States, we recognize dual citizens as American citizens, so we provide the same level of service to dual citizens as we do to single citizen Americans.
Oh, so it really doesn't matter whether you're landed with a Jamaican passport.
From our perspective, it doesn't. No, and we'll provide the same level of care. But I just really want to make sure that he understands that he needs to carry his U.S. passport because he doesn't want to be, he doesn't want to leave Jamaica and not be able to leave because he doesn't have his U.S. passport on him.
Right.
Sometimes it happens. People forget it at home, and then it's a little bit of a mess for them.
Yes. All right. Okay, I'm going to ask the public. I don't know if you can take any more questions because we're up on the break right now. All right, so...
I vote in Jamaica. I'm in Jamaica.
What's that?
Hello?
Can I vote? If I'm in Jamaica in the election, can I have the right to vote?
In Jamaica or in the U.S. election?
I think you have...
U.S.
Oh, yeah, in the U.S., definitely. You can vote through the U.S. Embassy. Actually, if you want to go to the website now and register, it's fvap.gov. That's the Federal Voting Assistance Program.gov, G-O-V. It's a great website.
You have a caller? Yes, Calva, how you do? Calva?
Okay,
you have 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
Yes.
I'm just asking what happens since the system is down and you have an appointment next week, you want to travel first week in August. Will you get the visa before that?
You're traveling the first week in August?
Yes.
I certainly hope that this is all long behind us by then.
Okay.
That is my hope. Like I said, I have no guarantees, but boy, I sure hope that this is history by then. So keep your appointment unless you're notified otherwise, and we will tell you at that point the latest information we have.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Thank you so much.
If there's an emergency now, we could have a challenge.
We could, yes. And
yes.
I'm very sorry that is the situation we have.
All right, thank you very much, Catherine Farrell, Deputy Consul General, and Pauline Kastner, American Citizen Services Chief there at the U.S. Embassy right in Kingston. Thank you. It was wonderful to have you guys again. You're now broadcasting professionals.
Thank you, Vernon.
All right, thank you very much for being here.
Okay.
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 Very much for being